Sit. Good girl. It's cold, Dad. It's cold on me bum. Break. Hey, what's up? We are finally replacing this kitchen sink today. I've been wanting to do this since we moved in 3 years ago. It leaks, it's hard to maintain. There's such a small space back there that things just gather and it just gets gross and it's just a pain, and it's silver. I just want a new sink. So we are replacing it with this guy. It's a single bowl sink. It's black, which is sweet. And it comes with accessories, which is also sweet. So I've already taken the doors off and the false drawer fronts. And as you can see, there's a mess down here. They had to use some flexible pipe in order to make this drain work. The drain comes up through the floor. It's kind of weird. It usually comes through the wall. And actually, now that I'm looking, there is, you can see back there, that was the original drain coming through the wall. So I'm not sure, I don't know what happened. It looks like they've had some water damage. So yeah, we're going to clean this all up and make it spiffy. All right. Look at that sun shining in. Beautiful. So we're going to take our blade here. Just a nice thin blade, and we're going to stick it underneath the lip of the sink and just run it along here. And that's going to release the caulk from the bottom of the sink so that we can take it out easier. And then you can see right here, there's these clips keeping the sink clamped down to the counter. So we'll need to release those. So first we're going to shut the water off, which is always the first thing we do. There's one shut off here that goes to the dishwasher. I'm going to turn that off just because. Also, we have a water filtration faucet on this one, and I have to shut off the water for that downstairs. All right, actually, just kidding. So shutting off this water shuts off the water to the filtration system. So now I just need to empty it because there's a reverse osmosis tank in the basement. And I need to empty that. It's a small tank, so it won't take much. Just as a side note, I want to save this water because it's good drinking water. We save stuff around here. So this is a chance to show off my new pot. That right there is a 24 quart pot. That's going to be great for lots of things. But right now, we're going to use it to save some water. All right, now that we got it drained, we had a quick breakfast. It's about 6 quarts in there. And now we're going to disconnect everything. All right, we got a towel put down. We got this pail, catch any drips. So we're going to take the drains off first. I got to take the dishwasher hose off that. Then we'll take the water lines out. Slides out, and we empty out the yuck. That whole piece comes out. We're not going to use any of that. This right here comes in, or goes out actually, to the filtration system. The water line comes up from the basement, comes here, out to the filtration, to the sink. So we're just going to take this one off, and then the new one will just go right on that. And then over here, That just comes off of there. And then we'll unclip the sink from the underside of the cabinet and pull it all out. Couple quick turns with the pliers and you should be able to get it with your fingers. Oh, this one just comes right off. All right. That's neat. All right, so now, let me see if I can get a good shot of this. So these clips, there's a flathead. If my shaky hands are gonna do this, and then you just unscrew a little bit, and it should there. Unscrew it, clip comes off, sink comes free. We'll do that on the other side, and we'll pull the sink off. All right, sink should come right out. Fingers crossed. Just like that. Make sure nothing's caught. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I forgot to detach the filter hoses. All right. Apologies for that. Sink comes out. They did this templating very wrong. You can see that the reason there wasn't a very big gap behind there is because they cut all the way to the edge of the backsplash. That's wrong. So yeah, this will be interesting. Let me lay the new template down and we'll see where we're at. So the old sink is actually smaller than the new one. So this template, in theory, I should have to cut out more to fit the new one, but this is already, it's already about right. So I should be able to plop the new one in there. The problem is there's no lip on the back here, and that's just not right. So I was hoping that I could cut out a little more from the front here and bring it forward so there was more of a space in the back. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm going to go get the new one and see where we're at. All right, so let's see how we're doing here. Oh yeah, that's going to fit right on there. I chipped out a piece of the countertop here, which is stupid, but we are going to be replacing these counters at some point. So this sink and new faucet is our Christmas present to ourselves. Hopefully within the next year, we will get new countertops and either replace or paint these existing cabinets. So little chip in the countertop, no big deal for now. Now that I'm looking at it, I can just butt this sink right up to the backsplash so that there's no gap. But yeah, so I don't even need the template. So next steps are to drill a new hole for the filter faucet. That will be nerve-wracking. And then we will attach the filter faucet, and the drain before we install this. It just makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, you got to get down inside the cabinet and be working on your back in a very tight space, and that's not fun. One thing is we got to clean off the edge of this all the way around. Get all the caulk off and then scrub it. And then this piece over here, I'm just going to put some super glue on it and glue it back in place for now. So this will go in right here. So what I'm going to do is put this in place exactly where I want it, which is right there. Then I'm going to put the tape Lack of that. Shove some glue in there. Then we're going to place this, put some pressure on it, spray that, and that will set up within a few seconds. Pretty close. Once the sink is on there, you'll barely even see it. All right, so we're going to scrub this. So while I'm doing the sink today, Roberta's working on these deer, restringing the lights.
Not the funnest thing. It's going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah, it is.
Ready?
Ready. Oh boy. I think that looks better than the original. I think you should leave the zip ties at the top. It really does look like horns.
All right.
All right.
That's our deer.
Yeah. Maggie, thanks for helping out. As usual.
You done good.
Doing a great job. All right, so now we're going to fit the new sink back in to see how flush it is. Oh yeah, I do need to cut off a little bit. So it's not sitting flush on this side. Yeah, so I need to cut off a 1/4 inch. Oh yeah, and first of all, this isn't even straight, so we're going to hook up a straight line here. Let me mark this out and then I can show you. So you can see right here, that line there, I'm going to need to cut off that. And then up here, I'll have to cut off just this little bit. Not this piece, but just that little bit. And then same thing over here, basically. I realized I had the lighting all wrong for this countertop, so here we go. This should shed some light, as they say. Another tip, always install the blades before plugging the tool in. It's going to get a little loud. Okay, now we test. Before doing the other side, we test. Oh, I need to take that piece off. There we go. So that's flush. The front is flush. It's not flush back there. So we're just going to see if that did it. All right. All right, so we got to drill a hole in this sink for the filter faucet. This is a granite sink, so you have to use a special drill bit. And what it is a diamond tipped drill bit. But if I just put this in the drill and just started drilling, this would have a tendency to move all over the place, which would create scratches in the top, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of scrap wood, drill a hole the same size as this through it, and then we'll clamp this down where I want the hole, and then we'll use that as a guide to start the hole. we're just going to clamp this down. There we go. All right. So we're going to drill the same size hole as the diamond tipped, obviously. This is 1 3/8. This is made for wood. This is made for granite. This is called a Forstner bit. It creates a very clean hole. There we go. So we've already determined where the hole is going to go. So we're going to go 11.5 inches from the main faucet hole. And then we're going to come in the same amount of this. So we'll mark that. We just want to make sure that underneath there's nothing obstructing where that hole's going to go. So now we can clamp this down. I've never actually drilled through granite before, so this is a first-time experience. But I'm confident that this is going to go just fine. All right, we're all set to go. We got to keep this wet with water, maybe to keep the dust down or to keep the drill bit from overheating. One or both of those things. I know nothing about diamond tip drill bits. If it's anything like metal drill bits, you use oil to keep it from overheating, because overheating leads to dull bits. That's fun. All right, we should be able to remove this now. All right, you can see, nice crisp hole. All right, Roberta's going to spray water on this as I go, because it's already pretty hot. So here we go. All right, there we go. I would advise wearing a mask when doing this. I should have worn a mask. That went quite well. I'm very happy with how that turned out. All right, now that we got that hole drilled, we can move on. That was the most nerve-wracking part about this project. Everything else is pretty simple, but drilling this hole, you could really mess things up if you don't do it right. So, and that's going to happen with most projects. There's going to be one step that is going to be way more important than the rest of the steps, as far as accuracy and potential to mess things up. So yeah, now we can install the drain, the main faucet, and the filter faucet. In the directions, it tells you to install the sink first, and then install all of the peripherals, if you will. But after many years of installing sinks and trying to install faucets on existing sinks, it's much easier to install this first and then put the sink in. So that's what we're going to do. Always read the directions too. No matter how many times I've done this, I still read the directions, just in case I miss something. Even though I don't follow the instructions sometimes, we're still going to read them. And then I can disagree with them. This is my reading the directions look. Installing the strainer first. Let's turn this so we can show you all what's going on. So this is going to go in here. And then this will go on the back. This screws in through there. And for this part, you don't need any silicone sealant because there's rubber gaskets on each side. Stick that in there. This goes up here. And I'll attach my wrench. All right, strainer in. Now we will install this guy. That's going to go right here. So this goes on like this. This goes up like this. Nut. That just screws all the way up. You get it into place. Make sure that washer is covering the hole. Gosh, this is going to look nice. All right, that should be good. Now we will install the faucet. I'm not familiar with this faucet, and I have to scan the QR code in order to get the instructions. So normally when I've installed these, I've used this, but with this type of faucet, we don't actually have to use that. We just use this gasket, B, comes through here, up here, right there. And then these get shoved through carefully. That gets pushed through. And then we got this guy, we got this guy. Gasket B is up here. So this guy slides on here, like that. Stay. And then we put this nut on. And then this guy comes with the sink. That gets up there, and this is just makes it easier to tighten this down good. You can put a screwdriver through here to tighten it even more. And that's installed. Now this hose gets installed, and apparently you just push this all the way through, take this piece off, and discard that. So then this gets installed onto this. Just push that down until it clicks into place. All right, now we can install the sink. This is getting very exciting, folks. We're going to put some contact paper down to cover up that yuck. There's been some water damage over the years, obviously. Berta's good at this, so she's going to do it.
Do we think that putting contact paper down is like a thing that everyone does under their sink?
I've never seen it done.
All right, so this might be weird for some people then. I think it's a fun add-on to under the sink if you have this old kind of look and you don't have to see this grossness all the time. And I don't know, I guess I grew up with contact paper down here. Must not have had fancy things. So we only have boring white. So I do recommend getting something super fun to go under here. But again, it's just nice to have something clean under here. So it's a pretty simple process. It's not the funnest to lay down at times, but it's a pretty basic underneath that we have. There's only a couple of holes in the back. And really, we don't put stuff that far back anyway. So I'm primarily concerned with this up front of just making it look nice and not icky. I by no means am an expert at this, so it is not going to be perfect. It is just rough guess of what we got going on. This is a brand new roll, so I get a straight edge. I'm going to lay it out.
You can see there's a grid on there.
Yeah.
So you can use that to cut a straight line.
There is, so if you have no idea what contact paper is, it's
primarily used for shelves in a closet or to line the drawers.
All right, so kind of what you want is, you want to start this line to separate so that it's kind of even across, because we're going to stick this edge down and then we're going to pull this piece here up as we go. But we want a good sticky section on there. So we're just going to get it nice and tight. As you go, you're going to kind of pull each side if you're doing it by yourself. And then rub it down so that it sticks as you go. The one thing that's nice about having a pattern is this is white, so you see all your lines on here. A pattern gives you a little bit more wiggle room to not have it be perfect. Again, this is under the sink. No one's going to judge you. And if they do, they could give you colorful contact paper for Christmas. So now at this point, to get behind the pipes here, I'm going to take the rest of this off and just kind of cut it so that it shimmies around those pipes. All right, so now we want to get... I think we're just going to cut...
Cut in a V. We'll go around.
Again, we're not going to put anything back there, so it doesn't really need to have contact paper there.
Looking good so far.
All right, one side done. All right.
That looks better.
So that looks a little bit better than what was there.
Now we'll get the sink installed. All right. We got some silicone caulk here. So when you're dealing with caulk, you really want to make sure you have plenty of paper towels handy, especially silicone caulk. It is just so darn finicky to deal with. But I got a trick. I'll show you a trick as we're going here. So I'm going to put a bead around just on the edge here, all the way around, and even up on the side a little bit back there. And just up on the back here a little bit. All right, wipe that off. All set? Okay. Just like that. So now we are taking this glass cleaner, make sure it's ammonia free, and we're just going to spray it around. So anywhere that there isn't any caulk, it's going to create a barrier on that surface. So when we go to wipe the caulk away, it won't stick to that surface. So it'll come away clean. So we just spray this around. And then get in here. Just like that. And just wipe this down. All right, so we're gonna install the water lines first. So these new faucets come with these lines already on them. So we're just going to tighten this on. And then this one will attach to this guy. Let me just do a quarter turn with a wrench. Quarter turn with a wrench. So this isn't the right size for the new filter faucet. So I'm just going to attach the old one for now, just so that I can turn the water on. All right, let's turn these lines on and see if we've got any leaks. Oh, there's a leak, huh? There's a leak right away. There we go. I just didn't have that hose put in. Okay, and then this one. So now we're just going to keep an eye on this as we're working here and make sure that we're not seeing any new water. So now we can attach the P-trap. All right, just installed this downspout, if that's what it's called. And then this will get attached to the dishwasher. Tighten that up. And then this thing, yeah, so then this goes in here, and then this attaches. All right, so I got to make this shorter in order for this to fit on there. And this just fits back up, this fits over. This goes on here. This goes on there. And then this goes on like this. And these are all just finger tightened. Don't use a wrench on these or it could really mess things up. All right. That is all attached. Now we're going to fill it up. Actually, we're going to run some water to make sure there's no leaks. All right, we're going to turn the water on. There we go. So right now I have the stopper in here. So I'm going to let the stopper go. And we'll see if we got any leaks. Here we go. Oh boy. First try. Ensure that the screen and O-ring are in the inlet of the spray wand. Check. Thread spray wand onto pull down hose assembly. Next, using pliers, make an 1/8 turn. Do not over tighten. Oh, I still have to attach the weight down below. Okay, so there's this weight. I'm just going to attach it. There's a piece of tape on this hose, and I'm going to attach it 2 inches lower than that tape. So I'm going to keep the drain plug in, and I'll fill this with water. The reason I'm going to fill it with water is to give it a lot of weight so that it seats itself into the counter and squeezes that caulk even more. So then that will make it adhere even better. So yeah, we'll fill this up with water, let it sit overnight, and then it'll be ready to use tomorrow morning. So then once I fill this up, if any more caulk squeezes out, I'll do the same trick with the window cleaner and then wipe it clean. So I'm very excited to start using this. All right. Check this out. There's just a lot more room down there now that we've only got one drain. I cleaned up the hoses a little bit. Still have this faucet down here. I forgot to get a new connector for the new faucet. But then that will be installed and that whole bucket will be out of there. So looks nice down there with the contact paper. All right, it's the next morning. We let the sink sit overnight full of water just to let it settle into the countertop. And now we're going to empty it. And we'll add the accessories and final reveal. Isn't that nice? I'm very excited to start using it. I am pretty disappointed with this fix that I did down here with the chip. I think I was more concerned with the camera angle than actually getting it right. But like I said, the countertop is going to be replaced, so I wasn't too concerned about getting it perfect. And it shows. I'm just gonna put a layer of super glue over it. That'll keep water from getting down inside the crack. But yeah, awesome. Check you later.